Let's see. Are we live? Are we working? I think so. All right, we're live here. I'm back. I'm tired, but hopefully doing some casting is going to give me some energy. There's nobody playing right now, but while I was gone this afternoon, Tau and Flute of Shame finished up their game from before, so I'm going to continue casting that. I'm going to just open up the replay for the Blizzard of Oz game that I was like halfway through, and I'm just going to speed it up to find about where I was and start from there. And then if there's a game after that, I will do that. So to recap, Tau is up. He won the first game on Destiny. It was a really epic game. And now we're on to game 2. Flute chose Blizzard of Oz as his map. And let's get into this. Let's see what happens. Super fast. I'm going to do speed casting so we get to the point of the game where we're at. Flute down here, he is going for engineers first. Tau up here, he's also going for engineers first. Doing very similar builds. They're going to be going after that gold mine. I wonder how it would be if I tried to cast an entire game at 1600% speed. This would be really rough, but I think I can do it. Both players are going for their ruins. Both players are getting to the upgrade. Both players are about at town level. We have carpentry guilds coming from both players. Nat versus Nat, they're going to have the same openings. Flute is going over here and immediately taking his wood, getting scouts up. He has Gavin, who's going to beat the shit out of people with his Fists of Fury on those scouts. And over here we have scouts coming up. Super scouts, half super scouts with the ranger, Mogok. My favorite name to say besides maybe Molasses. Mogok and Nava. Nava on these Nationalist engineers is awesome. Look at this, building up very nicely is Tau in his main base. He's got an econ. He is trying to take this bandit lair, and I think he'll be able to do so just fine. Over here, Flute is taking his Haroon instead of his bandit lair, but both players will most certainly take both of them before no time. Or before much time has passed. Tau going over here. He takes his bandit lair. He's got gold, but he does not have his settlers yet. He must try to take this Haroon, but no, he is moving down here. What is he going to do? Over here, Flute is indeed taking that bandit camp. And we have Tau going over here. I'm trying to act surprised, but I remember all this. He is taking these spiders. Listen, guys, if there was a way where I could just flip forward through replays in this game, I would, but as such, we're just doing it super fast. Let me... I guess I want to make sure things are working. They seem to be. Cool. Alrighty, let's jump back into this game. We have Tau running around. He's going to try to take this Haroon, no doubt. But we have Flute over here in the middle. Is going to take this Slan Kral. Gari, untaken. Tau going for his Haroon. Failing to take it. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I think he tried to just go and attack it when his guys were not fully up. He has a shitload of gold right now. Builds an astrology hall because he took the spider and he took the bandit without actually ever getting a second settlement. He really needs to take this Haroon, but he can't do anything until his guys get back up. So he is, he started an astrology hall there, but then decided against it. He is just going to try to take this Haroon. And okay, finally taking it. He's going to have something to do with all his money. 400 gold. That is ridiculous. Immediately gets settlers. Goes for bowmen with summoners. Immediately is going to start building in that Haroon. Meanwhile, Flute over here is starting to take the middle of the map. He has the Slan. He has Rainbringers coming out. He has Wind Riders and Scouts who are going to move around and see what's going on. See that these spiders have already been taken. And it looks like Tau is just going to see what's happening over here. He might go try to expand over there at some point very soon. I think he might. I think the settlers coming in trying to take that gold. Going over here, continuing is Tau to explore, and continuing is Flute to take the center of the map. Puts down a settlement and an outpost there to be able to take that stone outcropping and start to work his way towards the middle. Flute is going over here, and he is taking the Gari. He's going to be able to take it with little problem. He is now going to own all of the center. Meanwhile, Tau is taking his little settlement off to the right. He has finally spent all his hard-earned money. He is getting back into this game. It's getting close to the time. We'll know exactly when I ducked out because I do say it in the chat when I had to leave. Over here, Tao is moving forward. He is going to start seeing what Flute of Shame is up to in the middle, and holy hell. I don't know why I said that. Just holy hell, man. I don't have it in me to give much of an exciting cast right now, but I'll do everything I can. Golems punching it out. We have Wind Riders. We have Tao not losing to that flank of Flute of Shame. Flute of Shame is starting to take a dominating position in the middle of this map. Plus 92 to plus 66. Plus 70, that is, to plus 92. Flute of Shame is up, and it looks like he's going to start to go for these irons in the middle of the map. And the Gari got raised. Holy shit, I actually completely missed that. I don't think it changed hands, so I think that was Flute who just decided to raise it and decided to sit on what he's got. I could be wrong though, and I'm not going to start this replay again to see. So, it'll remain a mystery to everyone except for Tao and Flute of Shame. And we got more battles happening here. I have not left yet. Lots of good battling happening for the middle, but Flute is really dominating. He is taking over. He has both of these irons. He is probably going to get a factory here so that he can have that iron too, which is slightly out of supply. But Tao is always putting forth an immense, awesome, wonderful, valiant fight. Okay, this looks like about the time when I'm dipping out, so I'll put this down to our normal speed. Doesn't it look so slow now, even at 141 after seeing it at 1600? So what we're at here is Flute has a dominating lead, econ-wise and map control-wise. Tao is not out of this by any means, but he's a little bit pushed into the corner. He's got this corner over here, but this corner is not as powerful as other maps. If I'm going to be completely honest, Blizzard of Oz was the first map I ever made for 1v1s. It was before I even knew anybody in this community, before I had an inkling, really, of knowing anybody in this community. It was just when it was me and my one friend who were playing, and just for funsies, I wanted to make a 1v1 map for us to play on, because we usually just did, like, you know, versus AI stuff. And so I made this map, and it's pretty much the same as when I first made it. There's like a couple small changes, but honestly, it's pretty much the exact same design as when I first made the map. So I don't think it's a bad map by any means. I love it. I'm still happy to have it in the map pool. But there's some small things I might have done differently. Like, I probably would have made this gold and something else, like gold and stone or something, like I usually do on the other maps. But this is how the map is. It's still worth it to go and take those corners. I actually really like this map. I'm not gonna shit on this map. This map's awesome. Hell yeah, Blizzard of Oz. I was listening to Ozzy, that album, when I made this map, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's definitely a fight for the middle. The battles always happen around the middle on this map, usually around either the Slan or the Gari, it seems. But this game, I think, is going to really just center around here. It's usually kind of hard for people to really go out and take that middle because it's so ballsy and you can get punished, but Flute did a really slow push to the middle, getting the Slan, getting this settlement, getting this outpost, and it wasn't that much of a stretch to just get right in there. So Flute is continuing to throw golems at all his life's problems. I noted this company before, but the Maelstrom engines and the scouts, I want to ask him about that, because I'm sure there's a good reason. I just want to know what that good reason is. It's not a company that you see every day, but it is going to do work. It is going to do a lot of damage, and here we go. DPS coming in with those Maelstrom engines and with those not bone bows, those archers and rangers in the back. So these are all pretty souped up companies. This is not just any straight up scouts here. I don't know if he's going to be able to push through the very, very solid stalwart center that Flute has here. Flute is going to throw fireballs, and he is going to stop Tao from entering this choke point. Wind Riders from Flute are coming around and are going to get a flank from the outside to help them continue to stay alive. And we got outposts coming out, so very clearly Tao is kind of dividing the map here and giving himself this whole side. He can very easily go and take this iron at any point, and I don't think that Flute is going to be going up here anytime soon. So that's a really big advantage for Tao. The econ, though, Flute dropped enormously in econ, and I wonder exactly why. Let's see, he just got He got Bowman with Zealot Fanatic. Okay, that's scary as fuck. I will say that. I don't know why he dropped an econ so hard. I guess it was Oh, he is so low in wood. I don't know what all that was, but he's got a lot of bows out there. Yeah, he's got the Haroon. He's got a lot of footmen. So he is really, really dipping into the wood. But look, he has a lot of resources up. So even though the econ is looking actually worse than Tau right now, just slightly worse, the econ is down, but he has so much to work with, and I want to see what he does with that 13 iron and 8 cold height. Flute is starting to push in here, get out of this choke point just a little bit, but he's not pushing the matter at all. He obviously wants to work towards continuing to push in on Tau, but he is in a really good defensive position right here, and he has no need to go too soon. Throwing some golems, retreating, doing the dance that he loves to do so much. And Tau is getting a scary army out here, but it's not going to be as scary as once the Zealot Fanatic company enters the fray. Flute's scouts with Gavin are going around, and what are they going to do? Are they going to find this? I don't know. I don't think they can take that. Gavin can do a lot of punching, but I don't think enough to take an entire settlement with short scouts. But maybe Flute will prove me wrong. Not seeing it. He doesn't even go and explore, but he is going to go over here. Maybe it can take a Haroon. I don't know. That still seems like a lot for any short scout party. I don't care who you have in the hand. And yeah, double Magician and with Zealot Fanatic and with the short Rainbringers. This is so much DPS coming from Flute. And he's not that scared of a front line because all he's facing up against right now is scouts. So he's going to be happy to just exchange volleys. Going over here, he does run into this Haroon, but no, Gavin with scouts is not able to take it. Gavin's going to punch some Haroon, but he's going to have to get out of there. Very good foothold on the center here. Plus 13 and plus 8 still, I want to see so badly what he's going to do with that. So he does choose to get some more settlers, still not using all that. Okay, he is primed. I don't know if he's just going to try to get elites. I mean, look at everything he has. He can do it. He's going to lose some more wood, but and he will dip a little bit into Kaldahite if he goes for the full elites with Invoker Cleric. But he is sitting on so much iron right there. So how is he going to use that? With 3 iron mines, it seems like he has a big advantage, but without doing anything with the iron, he doesn't even have that much of a big advantage yet. These two are doing absolutely nothing for him right now. Not to say they won't. I'm sure he will get to a point where they will. I want to see it happen quickly, and I'm really curious to see what it's going to be. Econs have leveled out a bit more. Flute is back in the lead at plus 79. Tau is still sitting at plus 62. But Tau is doing good things over here. He has his 2 outposts. He has a good defensive position. You know, we got a little bit of trench warfare going on per usual. Both players have a defensive advantage. But Tau is just a constant pusher. A pusherman, you might say. But I don't think he's going to be able to get in here. Ooh, footmen go down from Flute. Wow, Tau did a lot of damage with this push, and I'm pretty impressed here. Now, I do think that once Flute gets behind the militia of this village, Tau is not going to be able to press too much further. But as always, impressed with how much his Nationalist engineers are doing. Wind Riders and Maelstrom Engine Scouts are doing a lot of DPS, and they're going to attack the militia, but once all these archers get back in the battle, Tau is not going to be able to continue to push in here. Down here we got those scouts. Okay, we got Grands with Invoker Fanatic. Grands with Invoker Fanatic, that's scary as fuck. Nationalist engineers are right there, still sitting at plus 15 and plus 7 in terms of iron and cold height, so he still has stuff that he needs to do. Tau, plus 68, Flute, plus 83. And he just spent a bunch more iron. What was that on? Did he not? Oh, it might have just been... Oh, look at that! Somehow Tau was able to take out that iron mine, and that is a pain in the ass. I'm kind of confused as to what just happened there. I missed it a little bit. Somehow, though, that iron got taken away from Flute, and he's now sitting just at plus 1. Which is fine. Like I said, he wasn't actually utilizing the iron yet, but now he can't even because he doesn't have it. He's going to have to get his engineers all the way back here and spend another 40, which is a good chunk for this point of the game. When every piece of gold matters. He is coming back, and he is going to get it with those engineers, though. Plus 76 to plus 68. And Tau, he's just going to continue to push forward with these outposts. He does not want to let this go. He does not want to let Flute sit pretty for even a second in the center here. And impressed with the Rangers, impressed with all the DPS, impressed with the scout play. making these really unique scout parties that I was not expecting to ever see. Scouts with Maelstrom in the background, that is. Gavin is trying to go in here, and looks like he's just trying to kind of run in and lure some fire, but they're pushed back. Tao's army is continuing to do damage, and there is a lot of dead bodies there. Flute's engineers are being pushed away. Footmen are still up, and full archer companies are still there and are going to be able to push back on everything that Tao is sending against him. Tao, what else has he been getting? What's he doing? He's sitting at a very similar econ to what he's been for a while, and he got a town up at River's Crossing. He likes upgrading, I've noticed, instead of settling more. Just going for those towns and kind of doing a lot with a small number of settlements seems to be Tao's play. But, wow, look at that. Tao just GG's. As soon as he saw that Invoker tech come out, I think he just didn't want to do it anymore. Now, I honestly like that play. I think it's really important in a best of 3 to know when you've lost and when it's time to move on. Like the same thing happened in my game against Bot this morning. I gave up the second game pretty easy. I had just messed up in the beginning. Bot had a big lead, and there was no reason for me. Every second I would have spent continuing to do that match, or continuing to play that game, is just like morale that would have just been lost for me. So Tao did the right thing. His company's, proverbial company's morale was going down, and instead of getting the route, he just retreated and said, let's go to the next game. And I do think Flute was ahead. Flute had a commanding position in the middle, so that was like, that was a good play, Tao. Like, as far as you could have played this match, like at that point, you were out of that game. Move on to the next one. Okay. We are now tied 1-1. Tao won the first game on Destiny. Flute won the second game on Blizzard of Oz. We are now on to the third game, which is going to be on Vargen. I have no idea who wins. I managed to not read all the comments, and hopefully nobody said anything. Okay, we ready? Let's do this. Nationalist versus Nationalist again. 141 speed. Let's see. Are we going to see the same openings? No, Tao is going for a settler first opening this time. And both of them are going for that quarry first. And Flute is going to be going for the same opening that he's gone all 3 of these games, I think. This is probably just a standard opening against Nat in this mirror match, because he knows he doesn't need to rush to do anything. He's facing someone on a similar timetable. So Tao is going for the very predictable quarry and woodmill, and we're going to see the exact same thing out of Flute. Absolutely no reason that anyone would deter from that. Divert from that, I meant to say. And over here, Tao is going to get his ruins, and then he's going to plop down a settlement. Now, the question here, do you want to plop down a settlement to get this wood? Or on this map, you have the option of not going too far out and plopping down a settlement to get that Coldahite field. That is what I always do with Sia, because they really need the Coldahite, but everyone can benefit from that extra Coldahite. And so I think we're going to see that coming out of both players. Flute, he got his ruins, and he is going to go get this megalith, I think. Now, yes, both players going to get their megalith. Vargen, actually, you pretty much have an effective 110 gold start, because it's very, very easy to get the ancient ruin and get the megalith. You certainly can snipe it from your opponent, but that did not happen this game. And we are seeing the exact same opener from Flute that we always see, at least in this matchup. Tao here, oh, he was just going out there for the megalith, and I think he wants to stay back here and settle into this wood. You're putting your neck out there a little bit if you settle out, and he wants to stay in his little cozy 3 choke point area. Engineers are getting the wood mine. He's going for the early library because he loves to get... Both players really love to get summoner tech. Ooh, but going straight for an iron export, so going pretty macro. I think this is what Flute usually does. Goes for 1 macro, and then he's probably going to throw down a library there. But these are the same parties that we have been seeing. Still no settlers from Flute, so once again, he is planning on taking that Gari as soon as these companies are up. And Tao is sitting on his full Nationalist engineers, and he has Seth Aswan this time, who is going to give Trailblazing, which is, it's nice. I mean, most of this map is evil, or corrupt. I don't know which one. Most of the map is terrain that slows you down ever so slightly, so Trailblazing is going to be effective, is going to make him happy. And what's he going to do now? He's going to go immediately for this wood. He is not going for any econ buildings yet, but he is immediately going for Bowman Summoners. He has extra wood now to spend on some footmen if he wanted to spend on more scouts. Oh, he has no scouts yet, so I kind of expect to see scouts coming out of him soon. But either way, he's going to go over here and start to make moves towards his bandit camp, it looks like. Bandit camp has not been touched from Flute yet, but he is going, predictably, going right for Vargen. That's not how you pronounce that at all. It's not Vargen. It's Vargen. Flute does indeed get the factory. Oh, he actually sells the quarry to get that factory, so he gets full eco there and then gets the library. And now with his new Gauri, he's probably going to throw a wood mill down, I have to imagine. But he is first waiting for this so he can get his favorite summoners with footmen. And over here, Tao is easily going to be able to take his bandit camp, and then after that, he's going to have to run back into supply. What is he going to do with the bandit camp money? I hope he... I mean, he needs some econ at this point. He is behind Flute. A good deal. Flute is at plus 51, while Tao is sitting at plus 20. And no, he does something that brings him to plus 9. He goes for the scouts with Ranger. Okay. He's going a bit all-in-ish. I don't want to say all-in because there's nothing all-in-y about this, but he is going for some quicker tech and quicker military than Flute maybe, and has not spent any money on econ so far. But Flute is doing his thing. He has his scouts and his engineers, and just now getting up his summoner parties, or his summoner partay. These Nationalist engineers really need to get into supply, my friend Tao. Flute, who do you have for Kohans? Oh, you have a Raj. An archer Kohan is always nice. Most other people who play this game has really strong opinions on the Kohans. I don't. I really don't. Maybe as I play the game more and get more familiar with other Kohans, I'll have stronger opinions, but to me, I just always see them as like, yeah, they're nice. They're a good boost. They're nice to have. You just put the right ones in the right party and you'll be good. Sebastian, protection. He is awesome. These footmen are going to come out and start to do something, but what is Tao doing over here? He is huddled in his little 3-base area, and I don't know what I'm going to see happen out of this. He's going to go for his Gari very soon, but what is going to make the sacrifice worth it is my question. He sacrificed a lot of econ to kind of get the bowmen instead of the footmen with the summoners. He got this ranger on the scout, so he has some good stuff going, but he has to make his sacrifice worth it, because Flute is going to start moving out immediately with these footmen and throw golems at his opponent like he loves so much to do. That was an unfortunate retreat in micro there, but it's all going to work out okay, I think. Flute is going to come in here and see what's going on. Meanwhile, Tao is sending his scouts up there to stop Flute from stopping him from getting his Gari. He wants that Gari, and if Flute does something to stop him, that is going to be a major pain in the ass. And a major setback, to be honest. But Tao is feeling okay with what he has. The engineers are easily going to be able to take that Gari. And the summoner with bows is going to be able to take care of anything that Tao has to send at him. And Gari is in possession of Tao, plus 35, now against the plus 53 of our friend Flute. Flute has just been he is getting another village. I missed him getting those settlers and getting that all squared away. But that is where he is at. He has been doing some pretty good build-up in his Gari stronghold. Not a whole lot, but he's sitting on some pretty good numbers there where he can get... I don't know, he might go for the Gari hammers. He might go for some... I don't know. He's not going to get any grenadiers or anything. He might just go for some more footmen, some more scouts. He's going for an iron export in Vargen, so continuing the econ game. Sitting at a healthy plus 62. Tao is going to push him back here. He doesn't like that his enemy is at his doorstep. Tao is getting a wood mill to get his econ back up in a nice way, and Tao is immediately getting more settlers. So both players are in a similar position. They're sitting on 3 settlements and going... Oh, that was... I'm sorry, that was Tao's first. I forget that his build kind of eschews the first settler. And just goes straight for the upgrade into taking the Indy. which is cool. I like it a lot. Like Tao or Flute has done a really good job of playing these maps, of practicing on these maps, of studying these maps, and understanding that every map has an indie that you can take on it. And so he has developed a strategy that works really well in these 1v1 maps, where he's able to get away without having to do the early settlers, because he just takes the indies. Over here, players are moving. Tao is still sitting at an inferior economy. His settlers are moving over here, and he has his eye on that Koldahite. The eternal question, though, is always, once you get it, what you gonna do with it? Tao is retreating there and putting up an outpost. He is scared, and that, I mean, Flute almost doesn't even need to do anything else here. Just the fact that he forced Tao to put up that outpost when he was already behind econ-wise means that he has really put the scare into him. Plus 57 to plus 32, and I like Flute's position a lot here. I really think that he is ahead in this game so far, with just a very well manicured opening. Sorry, I'm gonna be an old man again. Look at my phone, see if I can figure out how to get the chat on here. I don't know. Is anybody watching right now? I have no idea. I'm just streaming. I'm just casting. Let's see. Oh, dear friend Bont is in. As always. Back to the game. Flute is moving out with these scouts, and he is not really doing anything with anyone else because he already put the scare. I don't know if he actually saw this outpost, but if you saw the outpost, then he knows that he has kind of put the fear into Tao a little bit, forced Tao into wanting to get a defensive position. And okay, Tao built his settlement, built his Koldahite, and then, as I said before, now is the ultimate question. You have your extra Koldahite, what are you going to do with it? Sitting without a whole lot in terms of components at many of his settlements. He just has a wood mill at his village and his indie. His main is still sitting on just one econ building, that being a factory and the library. But Tao is starting to move up here and just see what he can do. I don't think he expects to win the game right here, to do any game-winning pushes, but Flute is pushing down this side. Tao does not necessarily know that yet, but he is about to know that, and he's probably smiling on the fact that he has an outpost here, because that is what is going to make him be able to secure this position pretty easily. He might try to push his advantage over here a little bit. Let's see if those Nationalist engineers come up and join the fray here, or if they go back down and join the fray down there. Footman with summoners coming out, and so he's going to be able to match what Flute already has two of, but both players will be sitting on double summoner parties. Militia from both of these places are... Jordan's Refuge does not have full militia up yet, but once they get into the guard zone of the Gari... Oh, that was nice. That guy was kind of able to get there. Once they get in the guard zone of the Gari, then the Gari militia will come out and do good work. But it looks like Tao decided to come back and defend his homeland, not trying to push any advantage there. Plus 44 to plus 82, and Flute is very much ahead on econ. And Flute doing the exact same thing that Tao did and going over and taking his Koldahite. A little behind, but so far ahead on the macro. So far ahead in the econ, I should say. I have a habit of just using those words interchangeably, but they are slightly different. And this battle is just what you'd expect. It's just Flute just continuing to throw some golems. Tao is just kind of forced to sit there and defend, but he doesn't seem too scared of anything. He has used all his Koldahite. Got a carpentry guild in the Gari, and that's good. He's hopefully going to be staging up to start to do some good things out of the Gari. And he's going to be able to hold this off just fine. Absolutely fine. Okay, we see scouts coming out over here, and they're going to see what's going on. They're not going to be able to take this, but they will see it. And now, Flute, what is he doing with his extra components? He has now got magicians. Oh, scouts went down for Flute. He has got magicians on bows. He has got a lot of wood sitting there. Damn, what's he going to do with all that? All that wood under his hood. Flute getting an outpost. He wants to take this side of the map. He wants to take both sides of the map, I'm sure, but really he just wants to start to control this. I wonder if we're going to see anyone go for their dragon in this game. Like, I could see that really happening in a Naffy Nat like this, where they're just throwing golems at each other and nothing that exciting is happening. Oh, and look at this. Tao is kind of doing the exact opposite, where he is building a forward outpost right over on Flute side. So we might see a base trade kind of scenario going on here. I'm really interested to see what happens because Flute does not have any defense here. Tau is hunkered down there, and it's going to take a lot for a Flute to be able to get through. Tau, however, can just waltz in here, and I do think that Flute's going to be able to come back in time to stop him to some extent, but he is going to force Flute to bring some units over, and I think Tau is going to do a pretty good bit of damage here. Flute is not overreacting. He's sending one footman party back, and he is going to hold his footmen and his archers right there. Tau is doing good damage. Sebastian with engineers is coming into the fray, and they are going to be doing a lot to stop this push. Let's see, if Tau can get one more unit up here, one more company, then I think he's going to be in a much better position. But he cannot afford that. He has to defend his land over here. These scouts need to retreat, and I think this is a case of him paying attention to somewhere else on the map and letting these guys get away from him, letting his control slip there. The archers are back where they need to be, but this ranger really needs to run the fuck away. It's totally fine, though. He is very well hunkered down here. And the footmen coming up, the footmen of summoners, as well as Sebastian's engineer company, is easily going to be able to stop Tau from doing whatever he wants to do over here. And so now it's going back to a bit of a stalemate. But look at that, plus 102 versus plus 47. This game is going to get out of control in the favor of Flute if this goes on for too much longer. Flute has thrown down a village here to be able to take an extra cold height and an iron. Meanwhile, Tau has not done anything with those resources on his side. He is continuing to try to push here. Gari hammers come out for Flute, and they're immediately getting into another supply zone that is not under constant attack. But he is still sitting at 14 wood. He can easily just get a full bow company, maybe toss just one magician in the back if he wants to be completely conservative with his call to height and not go in the negative at all. No, magicians cost 2. He'd go in the negative. Either way, ranger, you can throw a ranger on the back if you want. Either way, Tau is continuing to try, but it is not going to work. I do not think. It's getting close. He's actually depleted the militia there, and he has made Sebastian's engineers retreat, and these footmen are only at half-mast, but they still have both summoners, and the golems are going to be able to stop Tau from continuing, and Flute is moving down over here and doing a lot of damage. Flute has very powerful bows, but the footmen are forced to retreat. Jordan's refuge is going to have all its militia slain, but that is no matter, because Tau is going to be able to defend it. Scouts are coming up. Ranger is going to do some very sick DPS against that summoner, or against whoever he chooses to shoot at. And over here, more footmen with summoners coming out. That is what he chose to do. He chose to go in the negative cold height because he just can't get enough of that company, but he's still sitting at plus 10 wood. What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do? Got a sawmill going on. He's going for another library here to get himself back where he needs to be. Actually sells that carpentry guild that he doesn't need because he has so much extra wood. Yes, going for the library to put himself at very good numbers all around. And he will be sitting... He has a fort in the middle now. He will be sitting at a very nice amount of gold. And I think we're going to see him perhaps start to tech up here. Or perhaps he will tech up here. I think we're going to see some tech coming out of Flute very soon. He's at plus 100 gold. He's going to want to bring this game to the next level and have a chance of ending it. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. What are you going to do? You going to sell that factory? That's kind of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting him to sell that factory and get a temple. He could sell the factory and get a barracks. That doesn't really make sense, though, because he doesn't really have the iron to spend on any barracks tech. Let's see what he does, though. He's not selling anything right now. He just wants to keep building more and more settlers coming out for Flute, as he is wont to do. Plus 97 to plus 36. Double Strangler on Gari Anvils. I love it. You went right for that Strangler tech. But is it going to be enough? I definitely like doing Stranglers with... Sorry, I've been casting a lot today. I like doing a Strangler and a Cleric because I always just like throwing a Cleric there. But if you look at the party... I thought there was a place where we could get a good Good overview. Oh, the Stranglers aren't in the back yet. That's why there's no modifiers provided happening. Garland is almost up. Flute has got yet another settlement. Is at plus 96. What's he gonna do? Yes, he did it. He sold the factory. He's getting a temple. And he is easily moving out here, and he's going to take Tao's forward outpost. Tao is just sitting at such a low economy. And this whole game, Tao has just been behind in economy, and he's been playing so well aside from that. Okay, what's Tao mustering over here? Double Stranglers. Yeah, so this is pretty damn good. 80% melee resistance, 70% cold height resistance, and then the natural magic resistance of the anvils. So these guys are taking a percent less damage from everything. And they're nice and beefy. And they got spell immunity. And he's gonna double Heaven's Grip. Maybe just throwing 2 Stranglers in the back is the way to go. I'm definitely not doubting this party. I think it's gonna do some pretty good damage here. But is it gonna be enough? Because Flute has a really good foothold here with this fort. Stranglers are doing not but catching. Oh, catches a golem, catches some. I almost called the footmen flutes. It's an army of flutes fighting. Not gonna be able to do what he wants to do here because there's just not enough of a front line, so those Gari just kind of melted. Yeah, Tao is not gonna be able to get through that right now, and Flute is pushing on both sides. The pincer attack, it is closing in on Tao, gasping for air. Plus 49 to plus 102, more than double. Now exactly double is double the economy. What Flute is doing here. Nat Engineers. Coming in from the side, a pretty decent little flank here. If he can go and take that summoner out. Oh, look how quickly that summoner went down. God, that was brutal. So Tao does a really nice flank here to kind of save his settlement, but is it going to be enough? And what's going to happen over here? Flute has more settlers coming out. He's not giving up the macro game ever. Coldahite Field. Footmen. Dead trees. Water. Mountains. Sometimes my brain just needs a break. Just gonna start saying random shit, just pointing at what I'm looking at. You don't need me to talk, you can just follow the game. I'm too tired. No, I'm kidding, it has been a long day. But I will wear out my vocal cords to their end. Tao has got these settlers. They were pushed around a little bit, but oh lord, what are you doing, Tao? You are not gonna be able to take that dragon with just those Nationalist engineers. Are you gonna go for it with the rest of your army though? Flute is pushing in here. I wonder if he even meant to do that. You are going to lose. Oh my god, what are you doing, Tao? Oh, Seth, we hardly knew ye. Anvils and settlers. God, that must have been a misclick, and that is brutal. Tao is starting to lose his army over here as a very brutal army from Flute is coming in. Maelstrom engines are doing so much damage. This party is going to come in and do even more damage. Meanwhile, the engineers and the footmen, the flutes on legs who are moving around doing stuff, they're gonna move around to do stuff. Plus 120, plus 64, staying at about double the econ. Hey man, if you could take that dragon there, that would be fucking awesome. That would be the shit. But that's a hard one to take. We have double Gari hammers, one of them with Sebastian in the front, who is going to be casting protection, who is going to be giving recon, and cavalry resistance. Isn't that nice? Not much. Well, there's scouts. Not much to speak of aside from that, though. And Tao over here, he just keeps on pushing with small amounts of companies. He's just not giving up. He's doing what he needs to do. And once he sees these 2 Gari hammers, he is going to run right back. It is not going to work out for him. Not that fight. Not this time. But eventually, something will come. He sold that to get some extra money, getting it back up to a carpentry guild. 120 though. Flute has been managing his economy so well this game. and this has never panicked into trying to overstretch what he can do. He has just been so slowly building his economy, building his army. Dorchester now has a Nightbringer. He is going to be able to get Zealots and Fanatics. And he is moving in here. I don't want to speak too soon, but I think Tao's doom is at hand. I see Flute playing this game masterfully, and I see Tao not able to keep up with Flute's economy. Forts are going down, and Flute has a dominating command of this side of the map, and is very much moving towards taking control of this side of the map as well. Calm before the storm. Flute is just moving in to draw out what Tao has. And we have a clash of armies. These two are going over and trying to take care of this militia. Meanwhile, the larger army of Tao is going to be able to move over here. And I think he is going to be able to deal with these two, but once Flute's army gets back together in a more concerted way, that I think he will come ahead in this battle. And also, meanwhile, over here, I imagine there's going to be stuff happening. There's Zealot Fanatic Bowman coming out with Iraj in the back. That is going to be scary. And Tao is going to be scared because scary things are scary. Tao is pushing Flute back here, doing a good job defending his turf and not letting a giant Flute walk all over him. But Flute is going to be moving in here, and I am scared for Tao with all of the damage that is going to be coming out of these bow companies. Footmen for Flute moving around, throwing golems. Good times are being had. And look at this. Veteran Nationalist engineers from Tao. Get them back up. Do God's will. Over here we have exactly what I thought would be happening. Flute attacking. A very novel strategy to attack in such a game like this. He clicked buttons, and now his army's moving. Over here, Tao is continuing to move out with a single party. Tao's scouts go down, and those were the scouts that had the ranger in the back. And, oh my lord, those guys almost went down. It was Footman with Maelstroms in the back. And this defensive position that Tao has been holding the whole game, Flute is able to move through. He is going to take this Gari, no problem. There's not anything that Tao can do here. But Tao is going to run these anvils to their doom, whether they want to or not. They're going to fight for honor, fight for glory, fight till death. Tao is just not, there's not anything he's going to be able to do, man. He's at a good stockpile of gold, but at plus 22, his econ is just not much, and he doesn't really have great tech either. Mage College is not really going to get him where he needs to be. Undorn, Tao has fought so well. Tao did so good in the first game, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm going to speak too soon. I think Flute's going to win this game. But the lesson here is that Tao is going to be a really good contender for this tournament. Like I said, that first game, I was impressed like fuck out of Tao's play, and I certainly am not going to go in underestimating him when I face him. I'm actually a bit scared, and I am going to scout extra hard, and know that anything could come out of this madman. The anvils go down. They died gloriously, bravely, courageously, for honor, for death. Tao is trying to play to his outs here, but the walls are caving in on him. Flute is dominating. At plus 131, he's even building a quarry. He even has the mental energy to build a quarry. Footmen, everyone is just huddled here. Flute is going and seeing what's happening with these Gari hammers. Presumably the rest of his army will come very soon. But the disciples with Cleric Paladin and Seth in the front. Look, what we were talking about, valor. This is what Tao is all about. Valor, honor, glory, life, death. Does not matter to him. They're all the same. Death or glory. Just another story. Footmen are coming out for Flute. They're moving in. They are stabbing, McStab, stab, lots of DPS here. Maelstrom Engine, Magician, Zealot, Fanatic, they're going to be able to do so much damage to anything that Flute has here. And there's nothing there's nothing Tao can do at this point to counter it. It's not like there's like a counter to what's happening right now. Flute is in his base, he has no econ, he has no money. He's not going to be able to get any army up in time. The disciples are going to do what they can, and they're going to do some good DPS, but they're just going to melt to whatever Flute has, and Flute is just going to be the much more resilient. Disciples are pushing back in a pretty nice way. The cleric is really helping them. The paladin is doing some really good damage there, adding to the courageousness of that company. And always impressed with what disciples can do. With the bowman here, he might be able to kind of start to push Flute out of this position, but Flute doesn't really care. He is swooping in. He's going to be able to take the main. He's going to be able to take the second. And there you have it, folks. The GG has not been called yet, but Ziza has won his match against Bont for today. Flute has won his match against Tao. Unless Tao is just by far the best player I've ever seen in any video game, and he is able to pull a win out of this one. Tao is able to take back Nothon. He doesn't want to give up here. Scouts destroyed. The main is going down. -37. Oh. Well, I'm going to stop stretching my vocal cords to continue talking, because there's nothing much to talk about when Tao is at -60, and there's no chance of winning this game. And Flute is just now sitting around going, "Hey Tao, you want to concede to me? You're gonna make me chase you around the map?" Literally, this was just Flute had a great, like, very well manicured opener where he knew what he was doing to get an econ up, and Tao just did not have the econ up. Is pretty much all there was to it. Tao got some earlier companies, but without like a really clear idea of what he was doing with those companies, it didn't amount to anything, and Flute was just able to proceed the entire game. Even though in the early game he was behind by like a couple minutes on some tech, but it didn't matter at all because Tao was not able to press his small tech advantage, and it vanished pretty quickly. By the mid game, Flute was really well ahead, and his econ just flew so far ahead of Tao's for the entirety of the game. And it's all happening here. Dale. Bit of an anticlimactic name for Last Town, wouldn't you think? It's not like Horgoth stand. The walls of Irely. Oh, it's just Dale. Second footman down. Nothing will save you, Tao. Well played, Flute. Not surrendering. That is an astute observation, Tao. Or Flute. How suspiciously un-French of you. That was good. Thank you for the laugh, Flute. Thank you for being awesome, everyone who played today. Tao, Bont, Flute, I love you all. This has been a really fun tournament. Just the way beginnings of this. And we will continue to go on with it. Everyone has a month to get the rest of their games done. I, for one, will be trying to get mine done whenever I can, but that's it. That's the game. Flute takes it 2-1. So both matches were 2-1. There were no blowouts today. All of these replays will be up very soon. I am working on getting a spreadsheet up that's going to have all the standings and all the replays and all that shit that you're going to want to see. I just got to finish getting some spreadsheet formulas going so it all works. But I'll have that done by the end of the week, and we'll be able to see all the standings and see where everyone's at, and we will continue the Kohan Duels Ascension Tournament Season 1. Thank you all for being here. Unless something else is happening right now, which does not look like it is, I think I'm going to be signing off. Let's see. Anyone saying anything? I thought the joke at the end of the game was hilarious. I think if it was different people it might have been in bad taste, but I think Flute and Tao play together all the time, and Flute is comfortable making those jokes to Tao, knowing he's not gonna get pissed off at them. Yeah, man. Tao put up a really good fight. I don't know what a 6 means. Oh, at 6? I'm in, I don't know where you are, Pain Flute, but I'm on the East Coast. So I actually started a bit late. I started at 7 o'clock here. Yeah, I definitely hope to cast more. Like I said, my hope is just that people will organize games. My hope is that people will organize games like on the Discord channel so that I'll be able to see when they're playing and I can do more live casting, because this is really fun to do for sure. I'll probably just stream pretty much all the games I play. There's no reason not to. I want to put up as much content for this tournament as possible, so all my matches I'll stream. I don't care. Everyone can see whatever tech I have. That ain't what this is about. I'm not trying to hide my super secret Seiya tech. You're all gonna learn how to play against me, and we're all gonna learn how to play against each other pretty soon. So, I think that's about it. Yeah, no one else is playing any more games. I have been staring at a screen all day. I was doing all the casting this morning, and then I just went to the movie theater and watched the extended edition of Return of the King, which is like 4.5 hours, and then I came back and been doing some casting. So my eyes need a break from staring at a screen. I'm probably going to sign off here, and I feel honored that you saved the bombshell strats for me. I mean, it would have been anybody who I faced first, but I definitely. I mean, yeah, I'll let you feel the honor. I saved them for you, Bond. I'll disagree with that. I think that the non-extended editions are still totally good and worth watching. The extended edition's great, but when I watch the extended edition next to the theatrical release, I can actually see why they made all the cuts they did. There were some scenes in the extended edition that are somewhat unnecessary, and it just in the. I mean, we're all nerds here, so it's not as much for us to sit through a 4-hour movie about Lord of the Rings, but for the average person, if they want to make it a little bit more accessible and they want to put it from 4 hours to 3 hours, I think they actually did a really good job making the cuts. But that being said, I really, really enjoyed watching Lord of the Rings in the theater. I didn't think that's something I would ever get to do again. Yes, exactly. Um, oh, Winter Toast just came in. Yeah, you just missed it. Flute and Tao were. I just had replays from their game. Dude, that'd be sick. You could easily do it. Just have like a big Seiya Citadel as Mordor, and then I don't know. So Rohan would obviously be Royalist. Mordor would obviously be Seiya. I don't know if Gondor would be. I don't know if Gondor would be Council or Nationalist. I guess Council, but Council could also kind of be more of like the elves. Yeah, Winter Toes. Definitely go and check out. I did a stream this morning where I played my match against Bont, and I streamed it, and I cast the first game of Tau versus Flute, and then I just cast the last 2 games of Tau versus Flute, and it was all really good stuff. I'm happy to see you here, Winter Toes. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Nice. Yeah, I was hoping there was going to be somebody playing right now that I could live stream, but it's fine. I just had those replays to do. there'll be more matches happening in the coming weeks. And like I said, I'll be casting and streaming as many of them as I can. It's good stuff. I was proud of how I played this morning. I was proud of how everybody's played. They've all, like I said, both matches went 2-1. There was no just like 2-0 blowouts. Lots of really good games, even just in the first two matches. So I'm really excited to see what else comes from this. Yeah, I was starting to fall apart casting at the end. Yeah, and I didn't even do that much today. Now I feel for like, there's been multiple times where like Tasteless and Artosis have talked about doing all day casts, like casting for like 12 hours straight. And I'm like, holy shit. Now, even just doing like a little bit today, I completely understand how fucking hard of a job that is. Oh, don't worry, Wintertoes. You're an awesome player, and whenever you're coming back to the land of Kohan, you'll get right up to speed. I think we're all doing a really good job. Flute especially has been doing a really good job of like, I don't know, helping everybody and making sure, like, being really open about trying to help people get better and make sure that nobody is getting like way too good for another person. It's just the more the merrier. I think we're all on like a pretty good level. We're all able to have good games here. Um, yeah, that's awesome, Bond. Yeah, I'll be sharing my strats like throughout the tournament. Like I said, like the secret's out for my shadow demon build. I kind of blew that low in the first one, but yeah, he does. Flute has done a really good job of bridging the gap between the two servers. He's like the one person who is the only person who is like a very consistent link between the two servers, which is awesome. That's great. I appreciate so much what Flute does. He just loves playing the game, and like I've said this before. I literally just I don't have like I have time to be playing a couple games a week, realistically most of the time, and I just don't have time to be like playing with the US guys. But I'm really glad that Flute is. Um, that'd be amazing, Bond. That'd be super cool. I mean, I'd be down for sure. Me, you, Flute, and then whoever else, Tau or Winter, whoever else wants to get in on it. Yeah, we might get our asses kicked, but that would be so fun. And like you said, doing anything like that that can bring the two servers together would be super cool. Or if we got enough people on Kohan Citadel that want to do it, then oh fuck, I couldn't do that. I was gonna say that I could cast it, but you can't have more than 8 people in a game, so I couldn't get in there to be an observer. Who is Lord Camacho? Oh, I got you. I did not know that Lord Camacho is one of his alter egos. Yeah, man, I think he's like one of the oldest, most experienced players in the game. Yeah, that's what everyone says, that he and Naked are like the best, which I certainly believe. Like I said, I've never played with either of them, but Have you been playing in any of those 4v4s with Flute, Fan Flute? Gustavo's Workshop? Or whatever alias you go by these days? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, like I said, I haven't either. I just I know I've beaten this to the ground. I just like can't. It's really hard for me to play Kohan at 100% speed. It's just way too slow for me. It's literally my biggest thing with flying with the US guys. Which is fine. I don't want to beat the dead horse of trying to compare the two ways of playing. I just personally 100% just like drives me mad how slow it is. And I know once it's like a 4v4 and you get to past the early game, there's so much shit going on that it's not like there's any lack of things to do and things to react to, but just feels slow. It just ain't my style. I know that's the thing. Like, and that's what I've always said. The first time I ever played Kohan, like when it was just me and my friend Golmek who would play Kohan together, like the first time we ever played, we were like, we thought the game was on slow mo when we were playing at 100%, and we were really confused. Like we were like, why is this such a slow game? And then we saw that you could turn up the speed, and we were like, oh, that makes sense. And like we played at 200% for the longest time, and then like after we started doing 1v1s. I mean, that would pretty much bond. That would just be like a TAS. You would just like basically be seeing people doing things. Like your micro will be insanely good if you're playing at 25% speed because you have, compared to 141, that's like a sixth of the time to react. So you'd just be able to, if you played it back at like 141 and saw people doing it. But God, I would lose my mind trying to play it at such a slow speed. But yeah, 200% in this game even seems like a reasonable speed. 141 is a bit slower, but perhaps more reasonable. But like I said, 100 just. Yeah, exactly, Winter Toast. I would lose my mind. I know, yeah, 25% speed, and you build your first settlers, and you're just waiting 15 minutes for them to get off. Alrighty, guys. I'm starting to fall asleep here. I'm going to stop the stream. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you all. There will be more fun Kohanning in days to come. And many good times will be had. I'll see you all later. Thank you for watching, Winchester. I was glad you were able to come in at the end and chat for a bit.